Hey, how's it going guys, Kaptain Kuba here, and today I bring you a video that I've been dying to make since the trailer for God of War Ragnarok was revealed, discussing every confirmed character for the game. Because the God of War Ragnarok announcement has been different from other announcements in the series. Santa Monica waited a full year after the teaser trailer to show its fans what they've been working on. But alongside that epic trailer, they also confirmed a lot of new characters and enemies that would be making an appearance in the game. In this video, I will be talking about the new voice actors as well as theorizing who their mysterious characters are. So let's begin. Since I don't want to keep you for too long, I'm not going to talk about the obvious ones. Almost every single voice actor and actress who worked in the first game has reprised their roles, and I honestly don't see a reason why they shouldn't. Christopher Judge, Sonny Solchik, Daniel Basutti, as well as other actors are great for the role they are playing, and I'm glad Santa Monica is sticking with them. To my knowledge, there's only one voice actor who's not returning. Troy Baker as Ratatoskr. Ratatoskr in God of War 2018 was one of Atreus' summons.
Ratatoskr!
Why do you hate me? Parasite!
In Norse mythology, Ratatoskr is a squirrel who runs up and down the world tree carrying messages between the eagle perched atop of the world tree and the serpent Nidhogg who chews at the roots of the world tree. In God of War 2018, this character was voiced by the talented Troy Baker. However, for God of War Ragnarok, the role of this character will be given to Sung Won Cho, whom you might know from his YouTube channel, ProsD. Sorry if I mispronounced that. On YouTube, he's mostly known for his skits, but part of what makes his skits so good are the many voices he can do for his characters, which is why I imagine Santa Monica chose him to voice such a funny character. Now, I think the reason Santa Monica Studios opted out of rehiring Troy Baker is because he's too expensive. This guy is literally everywhere. He's Joel from The Last of Us, Booker from Bioshock, Sam from Uncharted 4, he was in Death Stranding. Both him and Nolan North are the most famous voice actors in the industry, which is why they probably got smaller roles in God of War 2018. So why not give him the same small role of Ratatoskr in the next game? Well, it might just be because Ratatoskr will no longer have a small role, and this is why they hired a voice actor who's not as expensive. If this is the case, we might see some form of traversal up and down the world tree and maybe even see Nidhogg as well as the eagle. In any case, I'm sure the new voice actor will do a great job. Another YouTuber who will be joining the cast of God of War Ragnarok is Young Ye. He's mostly known for his video game reviews as well as his news videos. Both him and Kellen Joff will be voicing the new Berserker stag enemies. Some video game journalists have already made the mistake of linking this enemy with the Berserker stag Young Ye mentioned. This is understandable since this enemy has the body of a deer, but the PlayStation blog article confirms this enemy's name is the Stalker. So the enemy Young Ye is talking about is one we haven't seen yet, and this has me really excited, because this enemy sounds like the Berserkers from the prequel comics, men who used their fury to turn into massive bears. This clan was eliminated when Kratos destroyed their totem, the source of their strength. So it's possible another clan exists that can turn into stags. These new enemies don't sound as scary when you consider stags are for the most part peaceful animals, as opposed to bears, but they're still wild animals, who will not hesitate to defend themselves with their sharp antlers, and I bet this is something Santa Monica took into consideration to make a brand new enemy for Kratos and Atreus to fight. Now we have to talk about Lanny Minella's role in God of War Ragnarok, because unlike any of the other voice actors, she has a lot of roles to play, and some of them seem to be really important, but I think this is a misconception. I did some research and it turns out Lanny Minella actually worked in God of War 2018 providing additional voices. So I think it's safe to assume that her roles in God of War Ragnarok will be similar, providing voices for additional characters such as enemies. And at first you might feel opposed to this idea when you realize she will be voicing Ravenkeeper, someone who was mentioned a lot in the first game. At one point I was even confused as to who this character was, but if you listen closely to what Atreus says when he picks up the scroll, there will be no doubt.
I think this is where Odin brought all his best clues about Jotunheim.
Atreus seems to think the Ravenkeeper is Odin, which I think is Santa Monica's way of telling us that the Ravenkeeper is Odin. No need to theorize about him. But how is it that Lanny Minella is voicing him then? Well, assuming I'm correct about her providing additional voices, then this means these are not the same character. The one from the scrolls is the Ravenkeeper, aka Odin. The one from God of War Ragnarok is just Ravenkeeper. Most likely an enemy that has the power to control ravens and uses them as their main source of attack. Perhaps these ravens will be the new nightmares of God of War Ragnarok, a small enemy type that overwhelms the player. Now, her other two roles include Light One and Garden Spirit. I think it's safe to assume that Light One will be another type of Light Elf enemy, though not the same one we saw in the trailer. I think these ones are just called Light Elves, so hopefully Light One is a larger looking elf like the Ancients or Trolls. I don't know, it's just an idea I had. The last enemy she will be voicing is Garden Spirit. Based on just the name, I think this will be an enemy we will encounter in Vanaheim. This is because Vanaheim is the realm of the Vanir gods. A tribe of gods who don't put too much emphasis on building anything. Cory Barlog has called them the hippie gods, because they are one with nature. Look at Freya, she was living under a turtle. So it wouldn't be too out of the ordinary if Vanaheim had some creatures named Garden Spirits. Either way, I'm really excited to see what they look like. The last enemy character I need to talk about is the Mystic, voiced by Alec Lee, and there's honestly not much I can say about it. From just the name, this seems to be a new take on the Revenant enemy from God of War 2018, an enemy most fans hated, so it's possible Santa Monica is getting rid of the Revenant enemy altogether and replacing it with the Mystic. Let me know what you think about this idea. With all of these confirmations from the voice artist, Santa Monica seems to be addressing the lack of enemy problem God of War 2018 had, and I honestly can't wait to see them in action. But as fun as talking about the new enemies is, I do want to talk about 3 characters that might be a little more important to the story. But first, I want to thank Into the AM for sponsoring this video. I've mentioned their products in a few of my videos before, and I think the reason is quite clear. I don't like the adult life very much. Sure, suits are nice to look at, but nothing beats sitting back in your gaming chair with some comfortable clothes. And that's where Into the AM comes in. Their online catalog includes a wide variety of comfortable clothes such as shorts, hoodies, joggers, and of course my favorite, graphic t-shirts. At the moment, I want to get the Twilight Maiden as well as the Eternal Guardian t-shirt. So if you're like me and puts an emphasis on being comfortable, make sure to visit their website and use my code Kuba, or just click on the link in the description below to receive 10% off on any purchase from Into the AM. And if you're looking for an awesome Norse mythology t-shirt, I'd recommend the Nine Worlds tee, which depicts Nidhogg chewing at the roots of the World Tree itself. Once again, just use my code Kuba for 10% off on any purchase. All links will be provided in the description below, as well as on the top of the comments section. Now back to the video. The reason I saved these last 3 voice actors for last is because I believe their roles will be a little bigger than the other enemies. First up is AJ Locasio voicing Scoldger. Now, it's very possible Scoldger will be another enemy in the game, but I do want to mention that this name has some significance in Norse mythology. According to legends, when Odin conquered Northern Europe, he gave his son Scoldger kinship over Denmark. He was also mentioned in the opening lines of Beowulf, so even though his role in Norse mythology is small, it is still there. If this character is in the game, does this mean that more humans will be found in the game as well? Could Beowulf make an appearance? Yeah, I know Beowulf is from another time period, but Santa Monica is known for changing these stories, so at least there's a possibility. The next character I have to talk about is not confirmed yet. All we know is that Darren the Pole is voicing him. Now, the reason I say this will be an important character is based on Darren's voice acting portfolio. I didn't know this, but Darren is in a lot of games. He's the voice of Reinhardt from Overwatch, Dr. Samuel Hayden's, J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man 2018, Revenant in Apex Legends, Emperor Callis in Destiny 2. This guy is a big deal, which is why he didn't say which character he was voicing in the tweet. All I can do at this point is guess what character he will voice. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that he will voice Heimdall, the Watchman of the Gods. Even though Heimdall is not confirmed yet, I'm willing to bet anything he will be in the game, given that he's one of the most important Aesir gods. If it's not Heimdall, then he will voice Freyr, either one of those two. The last character I want to talk about is once again unknown. This character will be voiced by Kat Cressida, who's most known for her role of Didi in the Dexter's Laboratory show. For God of War Ragnarok, she could be voicing any number of roles. We already know that Urd and Skold are confirmed to be in the game, but there's been zero talk about Verdandi, the third Norn. So it's very possible this character will be voiced by Kat. She could also be voicing any number of the Valkyries that seem to be returning, but I find it odd that she's not coming out and confirming it like the other voice actors, which makes me think her character will also be important. So who could Kat be voicing? Loki's daughter Hel? Thor's wife Sif? Faye? An older Calliope? The list of important female characters to choose from is overwhelming, which is why I'll let you guys answer that question in the comment section below. I know there were other voice actors and actresses I could have talked about, like the main cast or the people voicing the Inherjar, but I want to focus on those that no one mentions. I hope this video got you excited about all these possible new enemies as well as new characters in God of War Ragnarok. So let me know in the comment section below what other God of War topics you want me to cover. As always, I want to give a big thanks to all of my members for supporting the channel monthly. People like Lon Wolf, Mikey the Lad, and C. Griffin, to name a few, are one of the reasons this channel is still going. I really do appreciate your support. I would also like to thank everyone who likes and shares my videos. It doesn't seem like much, but it really does help. And with that said, thanks for watching, and remember, go forth in the name of Ragnarok.